Okay, so today we're going to be doing a fully analog mix. Like I say, there's going to be no digital audio workstation involved at all. We are mixing from the multi-track tape recording using the mixing console and only outboard hardware. The band is Civil Service and the song, I believe, is Fear of Children. It's from their EP that we recorded with them earlier in the year, and I'm just going to go through the normal process that we do, bringing a mix into the ballpark just before we sit down with the band and refine it to their taste. So it's by no means going to be a finished product. Alright, let's get started. So when we've recorded with the band, predominantly we'll have recorded the bulk of the instrumental all in one go. So they'll have played live, and we'll have the bulk of the instrumental down. Then we'll add things on like multi-track guitars or vocals and things like that. Incidentally, this band doesn't have any vocals, they're instrumental only, although it is quite a busy track with lots of little parts, and they added a lot of little bits on later on. So there is quite a lot to squeeze in with this mix. Okay, let's get started. I should say as well, when you're hearing a track that's been soloed or muted, you're hearing the mic in the room. And if I'm talking, you're hearing the mic in the room. But if I'm not talking and there is nothing muted or soloed, then you are getting the direct output from the console. So I'll start with the drums. There will be, you will notice some bleed, as like I say, we recorded the bulk of the instrumental live. So it's not a problem, you just have to bear in mind when you're panning some of the mics, you just have to bear in mind the bleed, that's all. Okay, I'm just going to EQ the drums quickly. Now when we're EQing, we're not trying to add anything, we're not trying to make it sound better by adding things. Really we just want to clean up the sound to make it as clear as possible and make a space for other things. So. got rid of a bit of. So we've gotten rid of a bit of that snare rattle there. To add a little bit of compression to the kick and the snare. They're a little bit up and down. I feel we just need to bring those under control a little bit. Opportunity to EQ those guitars. I'm going to save this section in the memory as well, so that I can just keep going back to it quickly on the tape, and we don't have to keep searching for things, you know, going forwards and backwards. If we just hit Memo 1, every time we hit locate, it'll go straight to Memo 1. So we'll just hit locate 1 and it'll go back to the beginning of that section. So you can hear there with the EQs off, the sound's a little bit muddy, and with the EQs on, I've just cleaned up the guitars there. It's just made them stand out there a little bit clearer now in the mix, and they're playing well together. I've also got guitar 1 panned slightly left and guitar 2 slightly to the right. I'm going to go back before this section. I want the bass coming into this section. And the song. That's before there. Bass is a little bit up and down. I'm gonna compress that as well. bring that under more control. And we'll give it a little EQ as well. Getting the balance between the bass and the kick there. When it's going higher up the fretboard, it's starting to disappear a little bit, which is why I wanted to add the compression. I'm also just keeping an eye on the meters now. On the outputs, because we don't want to start clipping the outputs, as we've added a fair bit of compression there, and now we're starting to bring the level up with some gain through the compressors. Just got to keep an eye on the meters. Okay, I'm going to Memo 2, and that's because this section has a lot of the synth in, so we're just going to EQ and balance the synth with the rest of the track. In fact, it might not need EQing, but we'll take a look at it. This section of the song is where we've got an E-bow and an extra guitar about to come in, so we'll just bring these into the mix. Save that in the memory as well. Just panning this E-bow, it's slightly off centre in the mix now, and when this extra guitar comes in, I found it's muddying up the sound a little bit, so I'm just going to EQ this and see if we can get it to sit in the mix a little better. there with the EQ off, it's a little bit muddy, and with the EQ on it just cleans up that guitar sound a little bit. Also going to pan that guitar slightly right, I think. So we really have got a lot going on in this mix now. Fairly happy with the balance. I'm just keeping an eye on the meters there, as we've got quite a lot going on. We've added a fair bit of compression to some of the things here, so I'm just keeping an eye on it, making sure we're not clipping the outputs. Now track 13, it says pad. It wasn't used on this track, it was used on another one. I believe it's the next song along on the tape, so we'll save that one for another day. I'm fairly happy with that mix now. I think we're in the ballpark. Obviously when the band comes in, there's going to be lots of little aspects about the song that I don't personally know. You know, when a guitarist is playing a little piece that he's particularly proud of, he's going to want that to stand out in the mix. And chances are they're going to say, can you make that louder? Well, that's not necessarily the correct course of action. Really, you should just try and make some space for it first. Perhaps arrange it in the pan better, or EQ the mix around it so that you can hear it clearly, rather than just try and make everything louder. If you can start going down that route, you'll end up making everything louder all the time, when you'll get to the point where it's just clipping the outputs of the desk. So we'll go back a bit. In fact, let's go back to the start. We'll just have a quick listen to the beginning of the song again. The intro is quite long, so I'm a little bit into the beginning. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that. Like I say, it's in the ballpark. So I think that'll do for today. If you've got any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments, and I'll try and get around to answering those when I can.